Maximum armor.
Crysis is the only reason why Crytek is anywhere near popular. I mean, what else is Crytek's claim to fame? Fucking Warface? Who the fuck plays that? With all due respect, this game is extremely overrated, and I'm not one for calling shit overrated, as that's really not an argument. The problem that Crysis has is that everyone talks about its graphics, about how good it looks for the time, or the technological achievements that CryEngine made, or some other shit. No one ever really talks about the game or the gameplay itself outside of my open world diatribe we've heard over and over again. Replaying this game again, it's really not as open world as one may think, simply because there are only a few ways into an area, with some of them being better opportunities than other. The gameplay loop is also repetitive. Generally, it's just cloak, move around a little bit, maybe take out an enemy or two, then cloak again, and then just walk all the way to your fucking objective. Yes, I will say that I am not a fan of the original Crysis. In fact, I believe Crysis 2 and 3 are way better in many ways to the original Crysis, which I'm probably gonna get downloaded like a motherfucker for ever dare speaking such heresy. Also, before we start, my version of Crysis is the GOG version, and I don't know if it's me or the GOG version, but Jesus Christ, this game got some problems. Also, I'm playing on hard difficulty, and I actually finished the game unlike a certain dipshit.
What about the game, Duke? Was it any good?
No. Your introduction to the game is Barack Obama and Dave Cameron arguing about some shit like they always do. Then you parachute onto an island in the Philippines. After the game's introduction to its awful stealth mechanics, you get greeted with the suit speed mode. The major problem about speed mode is that there are a lot of situations where speed mode is viable and to be used, but what cripples it so badly is how fast the energy depletes using speed mode. Shit, I could run a marathon for longer than the speed mode and I'm fat as fuck! Anyways, for almost 3 minutes, you're just running around to find Aztec because he got spooked that the ICE agents found him. It's not until you get to the shoreline of the island when the game starts to open up somewhat. This is probably the most rememberable part, with every single mouth-drilling man-baby coming about the graphics. I have my graphical settings set to very high in all categories, and it really doesn't look like anything special. This game has not aged well at all. Also, the draw distance and pop-in are just absolutely fucking terrible. Remember what I said about the shitty stealth mechanics? Well, find out for yourself.
Shit, they've called in reinforcements. Enemy units headed your way.
After disabling the jammer, the game will tell you to take control of a truck. Personally, I do not recommend vehicles at all, simply because every motherfucker from here to Timbuktu gets alerted to your position. If I remember correctly, you're supposed to control and fire the turret while also driving the truck, but for whatever reason I can't do it here, so... On the next shoreline is a group of Koreans and a truck. From here on out, just simply ditch the truck and cloak and speed to the end of the level. Towards the end, you get to a secondary objective to a KPA command post. Honestly, the only reason why you should ever come here is to pick up some grenades. Otherwise, just head towards the end of the level and watch a poor Mexican get snatched up by an ICE officer.
Looks like someone had a little trouble parking their boat. They seem to have hit a dead end.
What have I got?
Level 2 is when the game really opens up, more so than Level 1, as Level 1 is a little bit more linear. I recommend stopping by the first blockade on the road to pick up some explosives and the missile launcher. The missile launcher is something you will want on you as much as you can, especially for the later levels. First objective is to enter a small village with a school in it, but here's one of my major problems with the game. It touts itself as an open world where you can approach any way you want, but here, the surrounding area is a literal fucking minefield. As a result, the only way into the village is through the front entrance or the rear. Don't think about going through the minefield even with speed mode, as the mines will instantly kill you anyways. Another problem here is that once you enter the village, you also have to clear out the village of any enemies, which made my stealth approach to the village a complete waste of fucking time. After talking to some Humpty Dumpty looking bitch, 2 tanks will circle around the village. These tanks should take at least 3 rockets to destroy, but try to aim at its sides or rear. If you need more rockets, there's a room on the lowest floor that would make any gun lover cream themselves. Barack Obama gets kidnapped by an ICE officer, probably because of his lenient immigration policies, so you have to chase the ICE officer down and peacefully protest against him. Make sure you have a missile launcher on you, as when you approach the KPA base, there's a helicopter with fucking Superman's supervision that will spot you even in the thickest vegetation. The KPA base is a nightmare to deal with, and there's more enemies here than there are people with Trump derangement syndrome, and that's saying a lot. Then you have to worry about these aimbotting bitches whose sniper rifles can kill you in only 2 hits, even with maximum armor. I do recommend picking up the precision rifle just so you can get the sniper scope attachment. After the KPA base, you have to travel all the way north to go to a facility to find some boomer-ass scientists. You have to use a truck to get there unless you want to waste your time walking on foot. When you get to the river, ditch the truck and proceed on foot. At the base of the facility are a bunch of fucking watchtowers with those fucking snipers in them. Stealth mechanics in this game are an absolute shit, and I will keep ragging on them because I can, and I will. If you shoot any one of the snipers, the whole base gets alerted anyways, so just don't waste your time taking a stealthy approach to it and just go in there raw and hard, not like your dad.
What have I done?
Wow, that was cool. Oh, shut the fuck up. What comes after is probably the most annoying, retarded fucking shit in the entire game thus far. You have to backtrack all the way south to the extract. The problem here is the fucking helicopter and the multitude of enemies. This game is so bullshit that the helicopter followed me all the way to the extraction point and only fucked off once I got there. There's a reason why I say always have a missile launcher on you at all times to prevent shit like this from happening. Before the end, you have to deal with 4 Koreans using the nanosuits. This part isn't hard, but you have no method of detecting them once they're cloaked. So I just recommend making yourself visible to throw off their cloak and you can actually find them. This level is fucking bullshit with all the fucking vehicles the fucking game fucking throws at you. To start, I recommend going straight left to the first AA gun. Right next to the first AA gun is a crate with ammo, explosive charges, and missile launchers that I accidentally blew away with a grenade. Save your explosive charges for the AA guns and the missile launchers for the helicopters. When you destroy the first AA gun, a helicopter will spawn literally out of fucking nowhere and will follow you around like Sweet Anita's stalker. When you go for the second AA gun, I recommend just going straight across the river. There might be an enemy boat there, but surprisingly they're very easy to deal with. What's not easy to deal with is the second AA gun and the fucking anthill of Koreans. Next is going all the way to the dock to airstrike a boat. This part is surprisingly hard, mainly to the fucking menagerie of enemies here and the goddamn helicopter. Getting onto the boat is a whole nother matter entirely. If you ever pick up smoke grenades, I suggest using them here to help you onto the boat. And after the boat, the rest of the level is easy. You know, I wanted to actually like this level, but holy shit. Level 5 is a tank level and a relatively good one at that, but the biggest problem here is the tank. Your tank moves like fucking Speed Racer. The tank has ridiculously wide turns. Every time you get hit, your screen turns black, then gets blurry for a moment, and your health does not regenerate here. Meaning that if at any point your tank gets damaged too heavily, you might as well restart the entire level, because you are not going to do this level on foot. You are going to need a tank for the majority of the level, otherwise the tanks and the helicopters are just going to give you a fucking migraine. I wouldn't mind this level as much if you had a tool to repair your tank, or there were certain areas in the level where you can go to repair a certain percentage of your health, but keeping your tank alive is an absolute necessity here. Now, there are certain spots where tanks can be taken just in case you need to swap it out. The first I know of is at the train part and at the beginning of the second half of the level. At the end of the level is a secondary objective where you can go and pick up a Gauss rifle, and I strongly recommend it for level 6. Level 6 gets extremely difficult, especially once you get to the lumberyard. There's plenty of snipers and infantry and those nanosuit motherfuckers with miniguns that can kill you faster than you can say, "Can it run Crysis?" I legitimately do not have any tips or pointers here other than just simply use cloak and go for headshots. After the lumberyard is easily the most difficult part of the game other than the last level. Swarms, and I mean swarms of enemies and an ungodly amount of vehicles. If you saved your Gauss rifle, I suggest wasting it all on the infantry here. At the end of the level, you get to fight Kenrol Kyeonjong or whatever his fucking name is. Man, just fuck this game, man. Just fuck! This is where Crysis takes a massive shit down the shitter. Truth be told, I don't blame anyone for stopping Crysis here, as this is where Crysis just sucks. I don't know why anyone thought it was a good idea to bring in aliens here, right now, as all you're doing is subconsciously making people draw comparisons to Halo at this point. The level design here also doesn't help. It's large, nebulous, and vacant of any distinguishing features to help you navigate. I don't know how I got through this level, but I just did. The only thing I can suggest here is just go straight. One shit sucker here is that the controls are extremely floaty. I know it's supposed to be zero gravity here, but goddamn is it a bitch to just aim at anything. Once I got into the big ass area with the conduit hologram, I spent a good few minutes here trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing with my life, only for me to realize that I had to go to the big window in the room to activate a scripted event, then the giant butthole doors actually fucking open. Like, what fucking sense does that make? Level 8 removes literally everything about Crysis that made it good, which isn't saying a whole lot to begin with. The levels from here on out become extremely linear, short, and the play styles are radically different. The aliens are always alerted to your position, so cloaking is practically fucking useless here, and all the other suit modes for that matter. For all intents and purposes, just play the game like any other shooter. Later on, you'll find out that Barack Obama is alive and gives you an alien machine gun that shoots shards or whatever it shoots and has unlimited ammo. Like, goddamn, dude, if only you did this during your presidency, man, I would have supported you. No, I wouldn't. From here is about 6 minutes of helping Barack Obama finding heat sources and escorting him to a bridge. Level 9 is a small turret section followed by a short defense sequence where Barack Obama rescues some thought from a VTOL. This level is short as fuck too, and it ends with the death of a character I forgot to mention, but that would actually require me to care about him. Level 10 is a VTOL section whose control scheme is like that of trying to fly a special needs whale with the downs. For whatever reason, the VTOL also loses altitude over time, which means you need to constantly have your fat ass meat clubs you call thumbs on the spacebar to gain altitude all the time. The only good thing about this shit show is that it lasts for 6 minutes, which is longer than I can last in bed. The final level of the game can fuck itself with the hammer while deep-throating a cat's barbed dick. It starts off with 10 minutes. Yes, I mean 10 minutes. Walking all over the fucking ship before you finally get into any amount of action. And whatever action you do get is just a few of those annoying ass aliens. Then you go back into the fucking ship to deal with its goddamn nuclear core. After that, you have to go all the way back up to the fucking flight deck to fight the alien exosuit or whatever the fuck the tentacle beast is. I remember playing this game for the first time and remember it crashing all the time throughout this entire level. I actually never beaten this game until now because every time I killed the alien exosuit, it would just keep on crashing on me. This level did crash on me multiple times, and thankfully it did not crash on me with the exosuit. Honestly, I thought the exosuit was the ending of the game, and I wasn't missing out on anything until I had to deal with the fucking warship. Seriously, this nasty-ass, tumor-looking-ass thing can fuck right off, and the entire game as well. Honestly, Crysis is as mediocre as it gets. This is so totally gonna be an unpopular opinion, but Crysis 2 and 3 are way better games in every way, and I'll certainly explain my point in the next 2 videos. In my opinion, Crysis gets a midlife crisis out of 10. Oh, you see what I did there? Fuck you. And this game.